It's always a lovely time for me when I sit here and have a conversation with you. Of course, the platform is Conversations, and my name is Elizabeth Abai. Now, if you have been following trends of things, recently we celebrated certain group of people precisely on the 15th of January. It is an event that happens every day. You and I move around freely. We sleep with our two eyes closed because some people are doing the job of safeguarding us. Physically, we know that God is doing a whole lot. Some of these people do not even know where their homes are for a very long time. Some of them go into war, they get, shot, they die, and they are buried in places that do not belong to them, and all in the bid to save you and I. They are the armed forces. And daily or yearly, globally, they are celebrated. They are paid their due respects. It actually began sometime after the First and the Second World War, and it was done on 11th of November. But when Nigerian civil war ended exactly on the 15th of January, Philip Effiong handed over to Olusegun Obasanjo, and that's when Nigeria became united again and peace has remained. Democracy was brought back. We decided to, set that day aside as a day to remember our veteran soldiers. Sometimes we call them unknown soldiers. And then a lot of times, too, we forget that when we call soldier, well, I don't know if there's anything called soldieress, but I know that women are involved. That will be what we are looking at today. The women, the veteran military women, what are they like? And then we actually want to get back to their times in the military, in service. How was life for them? And how is life for them after the service? Well, I am not a soldier, physically, but I'm a soldier at heart, which is why I'll sit here every day and ensure that we get things done and done right. My name again is Elizabeth, and I know there are some soldiers here too who are with me. Soldiers of conversation, yes.
Yes, my name is Joe Parachia. It's good to be back. Happy New Year, my darling.
Happy New Year, definitely. There's a real soldier now. Okay, your name?
Yes, thank you for this moment. I am Lieutenant Colonel Susan Johnson Dibal, worked with the Nigerian Army.
Okay. And I want to quickly say proudly, she was the first female firer. That means you were the first to shoot.
Not really, but I'm one of those that thought that firing is one hobby that a woman can indulge in.
Oh,
Fantastic.
okay. Firing is a hobby.
Yeah.
It's like telling me killing and shooting is a hobby.
Not really.
Not really.
All right, we'll get to that later. I'll move to on my right side. I know Khadija, I wasn't supposed to call your name, so just say your name yourself.
Good morning. I'm Khadija Suleiman.
Okay? And you're a public servant.
Oh, yes, public
All
service.
right?
Victoria. My name is Victoria, and I'm also a public servant.
All right. Victoria, who?
Victoria Yesin.
Yes. All right, nice to have you. And have you ever thought of being in the military?
I actually admire women in the military, but I don't think I have the effrontery it takes to be a woman in the military.
How about you?
I also wanted to.
But you never did?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get up to that place. I guess they wouldn't have allowed me, but I know I was a girl's guide, I was a scout member at a point, and I enjoyed flogging people in the stadium.
Oh.
During Independence Day, Children's Day, we were the line officers to make sure there was order. And when your friends annoy you in class, that's opportunity.
No, but for me, since I was in the military, in the barracks, I grew up in the barracks, and I went to a military school. I actually wanted to be in the military, but then academy was not there, and I think I didn't want to do the short course. I wanted to go through the real one, but it wasn't there, so I just did something else.
You're talking, and I'm picturing you wearing uniform, and I'm wondering what it would be like. Anyway, recently we celebrated the Armed Forces Remembrance Day on the 15th, and we captured a whole lot out of it. But then a lot of questions came up. People asked certain questions. What does this mean? What does that mean? My winning team, Ada, Ehi, and Faith, as usual, took their time and put this together. Let's see it.
Forces Remembrance Day in Nigeria is celebrated on January 15th. It commemorates our departed compatriots and honors the living veterans. Originally, this day is marked on November 11th. However, in Nigeria, it was shifted to January 15th to mark the Biafran troops' surrender in 1970, ending the Nigerian Civil War and preserving our national unity. Let me take you through some of the symbolic things you would have observed on this day.
Each year, a
All right, at least I've been exonerated. When I entered the studio and somebody asked me right in the studio, where is your emblem when you're discussing this? And I said, I'm not supposed to wear it today. And I wasn't even sure that was going to come up. And even though some other person tried to, bail me out, now they know why I am not wearing one today. All right, I learned again that it must be on the left hand side, right? And that will be next year because I've always worn it anywhere I felt like it. Sometimes I even use it to hook my shirt. But then I want to start with the retired firer here, because you were in the front line and you have a lot of experience to share with us. I always, like I asked Khadijat, when you hear soldier, what comes to your mind? She said, men. You know, it's always not usual for us to think about soldiers or servicemen as women, but you were there, and a lot of people are still there now. I want to know what gives you the impetus to even join in the first place, because I tried to ask around. All of us said we couldn't have done it.
Well, for me, after secondary school, as far back as 1985, I joined the army in 1986, 6th January. I think I just feel like that the only way I can look smart within my colleagues that were leaving for university, because people used to say that it is those that doesn't have good results that end up joining as a soldier, which is not so. The likeness of the job you want can make you do what you want. And I joined the army as a soldier. I started as a private soldier. But along the line, as much as you grow into the system, you will also realize that there are courses. You either want to be a nurse, which the door is there, there are school of nursing. You want to be a caterer, there are school for that. The army has provision for you even as you join. It is left for you as an individual to look at the path at which you want to follow. And I love that job. I can do it again and again. In another world, I will still want to join the army because I did what I feel I should do, which is going around all aspects of the military. I'm a medical person, but I found myself being a firer, as you're saying, and I was in the front line. I was in Sierra Leone. So
You fought war in Sierra Leone?
yes,
You
I
like
was
this?
there. Yes, I was there. And
so
not
scared.
just the Sierra Leone. I want to say it that I was posted to the northeast, 2015 October, whereby
That
when
was
you
the heat of it.
yes, when you tell someone that is where you are going, even me, I was scared. But I looked at it. I'm from Borno State.
Okay.
What will I contribute to my own state since I'm a soldier? Because from being a soldier, I graduated and got to myself as an executive commission officer, where you are a graduate already. So the army gives you this as an executive commission. And that same commission took me to another step, which you normally end up as a major. But God gave me the privilege to become a lieutenant colonel.
Wow.
I retired with that. Actually, army is a job that I tell everyone, try it, especially female.
You know, I want you to get back to what you were talking about, Meduguri. You know,
Yes.
at the peak of it, you, a woman, you know, I know women, we have our peculiarities. If
Yes.
you're in the front, you know, burner, and you know the monthly business comes, your period. How do you handle it?
As a soldier, that is one priority that as a woman, you need to take care of it yourself.
How?
Because when I start telling you that I'm menstruating this month, that means I don't want to do the job.
What
And
if you have PMs, menstrual cramps? and
That
all
is
of
why we have the hospitals. You run there and they give you medication. You don't need to tell the world. You don't need to tell your colleague that I'm menstruating. Today we have women that will be generals. They went through the 5 years training, the same with the men. Do you want them to start telling, no? It doesn't work in the system. It is left for you as an individual to take care of that because there are provisions made for you to go to and get this done. Not telling people for them
All
to
right.
see you as a weaker. No, she doesn't want to be there.
Okay, we will continue with this, but let me quickly
Very true.
pay a little tribute to, you know, fallen heroes, and we'll come back. You'll still continue on that.
In deep love and honor to our fallen heroes, we remember members of the armed forces of Nigeria who bravely fought in battle and sacrificed their lives for us to have peace. The officers and men of the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, and Nigerian Air Force who selflessly invest their skills, commit their time and energy, and some their lives on land, sea, and air for the defense of our fatherland. Our dogged officers and men who stay awake that we might sleep peacefully.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Nigeria is a country of many cultures, languages, and beliefs. But despite our differences, there is one thing that unites us all: our love for this great nation. Sometimes we may feel that we need to go fast and go alone, but when we come together and work as a team, we can go far beyond what we ever thought was possible. United, we can create thriving businesses that benefit our communities and in turn our nation. It is said that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let's understand our differences and come together to build a better Nigeria. When we work together, there is nothing we can't achieve. Nigeria, better together.
All right, we are still on conversation and we're paying tributes to our fallen heroes who are specifically female. And Lieutenant Colonel Duba was just telling us about coping with being a woman and the forefront. And it's not exactly sinking in my head because I know that for some of us, when we are on, like we put it, we need to change like every 4 hours. If I'm posted in Maiduguri, for instance, and the war is raging and I need to change, I just want to know the magic you're going to do as a woman. Or I'm having cramps. How do you handle that?
Yes, to manage that, every soldier has a trench. You dig a trench and live in it all the days of your days in the Northeast. And in that trench, I have my kit bag. And that bag, I carry my parts, my necessary needs, requirements in it. And at any point that I need to change, it's my trench. I could be with a male in the same trench if the possibility comes. I can take excuse from him. Can you swap to the next trench for me to keep myself clean? And let me tell you, every soldier you stay with sees you as a sister, as a wife.
Oh, wow.
And as much as you need your privacy, he is there to say, this moment belongs to you. Take care of yourself. Because we call it living with body. You must entrust yourself to the next person close to you because it can happen anytime. As a soldier, death is something that you wake up, you sleep, and it is in you. I wasn't in an office. I was everywhere. As a mental health person and a social worker, all you do is to look out for the needs of these soldiers, how you can help them cope, how you can tell them that, you see, this sleepless night you are having, millions are saying thank you. You may not hear it,
True.
but people say that.
True.
And if people don't appreciate you, appreciate yourself in your trench, and you'll get it right. If the bullet is not meant for you, it's not for you. It flies to where it is meant for. And you are not better than that person that the bullet gets. It's just that destiny has written it that that is meant for you. And that is how we see it.
Fantastic.
It's a tough one.
No, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one. You lived with a lot of military people. You know, for the females that you had exposure to, how was it like for them?
You see, it's you apparently, or the show that is trying to say female, male. When you're a soldier, you're a soldier.
That is it.
Because if you start saying, and I always tell people, the women do it better.
Wow.
Oh yes, the women
How?
do it. I'm telling you. You see, because the women are going into that supposedly male-dominated a place, and everybody looks at them as being female. So anytime you put a female in that kind of environment, they want you to see them for their job and for their intelligence. They don't go there saying, I'm a woman, or I'm a man. If you shoot, I shoot.
Yeah.
You went to school, I went to school.
Of course.
You have your intelligence, I have my intelligence.
True.
So when an officer comes in now, if the male that is another rank is not going to be looking at the woman that she's a woman. He's going to salute. So the thing here is that the minute you decide that you want to be a soldier, you now have to make up your mind that you are going to a male-dominated place. And if you want the respect that you deserve, then you have to stand and be better than them.
That's a good one, because they say what men can do.
Oh yes, women do
Women
better.
can do better.
Women do better.
But I'm wondering, some of us are even scared of, getting married to soldiers.
Yes.
What?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you are not.
I am.
You are.
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like, for one, life is not guaranteed.
Oh,
this minute he's around, and then the next minute the constant fear of him not returning back home is what haunts me. Is what's made me decide that I don't think I can marry a soldier. But I admire women who marry soldiers. I mean, they are very brave, for one, and it's something to reckon with their strength. But for me, I've always had that fear of marrying a soldier. Yes. So.
Khadija is very comfortable with it.
Yes, no, I am.
To be very
I
comfortable.
am, because I wanted to join the military too. So, and then I see them as very strong people. And then whenever you're close to them or with them, you're secured. I feel I'm secured. So that security alone is something to take up and marry a soldier. It has always been my dream.
Can I double into this discussion, because I can see you're not going to ask me that. Because I went to a military school, and when I was there, I used to see some military women. It was the 5 years of torture. Then I called it torture, because it was terrible. Because from where I was coming from, and the drills and waking up at 5 a.m. and doing all that. But you see, what gave me that strength was, like I said, but look at women like me. If they can do it, I can do it. So you see, with that, then you talk with them. Then when we now got to school and we stayed for years, we now became buddies. And with that, you ask questions. Why did you do this? Even though 80% of the people then in school, the people who joined, did it because there was no other job.
Okay.
You understand? And that was the easiest thing they could do. But eventually, they fell in love with it. Like she said, let's be honest. I don't think I would have married a military man.
Why?
I'll be honest with you. Because I lived in that environment. I never saw my father. So that mentality, and sometimes if I take it back to being a female who is in the soldier, that means I won't be with my husband. And the thing you think about, if you're not with your husband, what happens?
Is he cheating on me?
I don't know about that. But you see, there's something about when you're not together. Then you're always afraid that phone call, that bad news, how are you going to cope with the kids and all that? So growing up, there are advantages and disadvantages.
True. And I noticed while you were talking, Diva was busy smiling. And I know you have your own family.
Yes.
How were you able to juggle your family life and military life?
Thank you for that question. I really want to put it that marrying a soldier or a civilian marrying a soldier is one of the best things a woman can think of.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Or is one of the best things a civilian can think of, marrying a female officer. Let me tell you, that's an institution where you have the highest respect. Even if you are not a soldier, a phone call will come in. Even as a civil servant, a phone call will come in.
True.
So if you have made up your mind to marry a soldier, go in with all totality. Yes, there are pros of it. But these same pros are everywhere, in every job. So I tell women, allow yourself to this opportunity. Yes, the man is in the front line. Try to give the society a safe environment. Likewise, yourself back home. But let me tell you, with that hardship, thank God for the wall of GSM. When we were in Sierra Leone, there was nothing like that. But this time you call. A soldier cannot sleep without calling his family. He may get angry with the next environment because he has not made phone call. Again, for if an officer like us that has married a civilian, the man is there because before he married you, he knows the kind of job you do.
True.
So bringing him into every activities that the military have, your husband is there, feeling
Important.
the same as
Very
you. So I
Feeling
don't
extra protected.
I don't see marriage as something that will make young ones to say, I don't want to marry an officer. Go in for them. They are the best.
True.
Oh, wow. See,
No,
adverts.
I agree. No, I agree. I had the best father.
Except that he wasn't
wasn't
present.
Yeah, yes, I had the best father.
But
yeah,
you know, there's
yeah.
this fear of, men like to still be on top. They like to be the boss in the house, even though I seem to look at it as a ceremonial boss, because at the end of the day, the woman is the owner of the home, and she calls the shots eventually. So, but the men like to see that they are the boss, at home. Marrying a soldier, would it not be, somewhat deflecting their ego because they might be scared? The woman who is overtrained might, if she turns aggressive.
That's a very good question. Let me tell you, any woman that is in the uniform and she wants to succeed, the husband is the mirror. Check out, not just military,
Okay.
Agree.
even in other paramilitaries, a woman that understands that this job I have joined is me. Drop the uniform by the door and come in as a wife, and you get the best. Where you see problem is because you want to ego yourself with the man, you can't get it right. But when you drop this uniform and bring in this family thing, you get the best out of your marriage. And the civilians that have married us enjoyed us more than any other thing.
What about the children?
The children too understand that that is the job you have chosen. From the beginning, you start grooming your children that I'm in a force that today I may not be here and daddy is there. When you give a child the basic thing that I may not be at that point always, the father too knows that, and the child grows with it. That is why I tell people that a soldier's son is always a soldier's son. His daughter belonging to a military person is always a military daughter, because the love.
That's a hard pill to swallow, if you ask me. How would you feel if your mother tells you, today you see me, tomorrow you may not see me?
Well, I feel like for the child, however we put it, it's always going to be difficult. So always think, mommy might not come back today.
Yes.
Or, and then you as the mom as well, you have to always have it at the back of your mind that you will miss certain stages of your children's growing up, and no mother would be glad about that.
I agree with you.
So yes, but I feel like you said a soldier's son is a soldier, a soldier's daughter is a soldier. So I believe they're born with the strength somehow, because it will be a very difficult thing to grow up like that. But like you said, they are strong. And
Talking about soldiers' son, daughter, it brings me to the family and life after service. We just celebrated the Veterans Day. And I'm wondering, for the women who may not be directly a soldier, but they are married to the work through their husbands, if the husband dies, what's the treatment like for them? I mean, you're honored, you're taken care of while the man is alive. Are there packages for them? Because sometimes I hear some of the stories.
In every strata of our society, there will be story. But I want to tell you, there is no military person that will want bad thing to a woman who has just lost her husband. The military has package, they have structures. The only thing that I see personally is that we need to have a database. We need to identify with these women that after the dead have gone to their villages. Some will not want to stay in the city. Some want to go back home. So there is the need for us to understand that these same women that have lost their husbands are all over. They are all over our communities. Bring them on board. Not just the state thing. We must look deep down to the local community where a woman have settled with her children. I think that is the area, but for every other thing, it is there. But again, in everything that government has done, you could see some lapses.
True.
Because sometimes what brings these lapses is that we get married to so many women.
I was going to say that.
Wherever we are, we try to get a child.
So
And
how
when-
do you account for those ones when
That's
you're
what
gone?
I'm trying to tell you. As a man that have decided to say, John is my next of kin, Musa is my next of kin. Who is Musa and who is John? Bring on board everybody you have produced in the society.
I like the way she puts it.
Yes, because that is the problem we may have. You may have wives that are unknown and children that are unknown. The government can't know them. And the wife that is not recognized are there saying the government has not done anything. Bring everybody on board. And the military pension board is doing it. There is a committee where when you have this, they sit to see how everybody is partaking into your pension. But they are being taken care of. It may not be in full totality, but there is that package for you.
So if for instance, my father was a soldier and he goes, and he didn't identify me, but I know he's my father, and suddenly he dies. Can I walk up to the armed forces and identify myself and be taken care of?
No. Yes, they do, my dear. Now,
Okay.
the system does. And how does the system recognize that? You must have documents that gives you that this is my father, and your mother could also accompany you because they really, really admit them now. Because our communities, our society, that one man, one wife is so difficult for the uniform man. And
Well,
definitely.
well,
they
you
create
said yes. Well,
Yes.
you're in the system, so
Yes,
I have
yes,
friends
yes.
who are outside the system, and it
Yes.
hasn't worked for them, because basically the first things first. How many of the soldiers have changed their next of kin
Yes, I
to their
agree with
wives
you.
or to their
I
or
agree
to their
with you.
family?
I agree.
Most military men, most military women, still have their next of kin as their parents.
Wow. Is there education being made?
There's no.
Oh, no, I don't
there
know.
is.
There is. Okay.
For
There's-
Are you people creating awareness? Because I know in your purview you can actually do that. Is it possible? Are you creating awareness?
Yes, definitely. That's in the plan, and it will be executed because people, the soldiers in the field or in the life, need to have this education on how to go about their lives, especially after they are not here anymore. Because there's this chaos that always exists after
No,
they.
for the military, honestly, let me say it the way it is. That awareness is going on. And if such issue comes back, at the pension board, there are committees that look into that. You bring in and they sit and it's being resolved.
Yeah.
Actually then, before this time, that is not in place. But now, as I speak, definitely it is in place.
Okay,
Okay,
Khadija,
let's
what's your opinion on
Yes,
this?
I even wanted asking, what if in a situation whereby the first next of kin, maybe they came to process the pension, and then another came from somewhere again to process the same pension. So would they pay the both next of kins, or
Well, I'm speaking based on being a veteran, being someone that I've seen this committee work. And as a social worker, people come to me that this is the problem we're facing. Yes, this committee look into this aspect you're saying. They don't just pay you because you are the next of kin. They pay because both parties have sat. Some put their brothers and refuse to change even at death. The brother wants to claim. Some women are not legally married and they have children. This committee work on this kind of issue. You can find
All right.
out.
We have messages coming in on our platform, and I'll take some of them and we continue. I still have a whole lot to ask you about.
Thank you.
All right. Somebody says here, my name is God's Will from Plateau State. Seriously, I love seeing women in the Nigerian army. The army is not only meant for the men alone. Thank you so much, God's Will. And I hope that one day you tell me you're marrying a military lady. This is a Ramsil. Army is the best place to marry. You are always secured. Oh, yeah? Thank you. That's a good one. You just echoed her thoughts. And somebody else is asking me the military or the explosion in Ibadan yesterday. Do you have any updates? Well, I don't know at the moment, but I know that our correspondent Kende is standing by to give us updates. If she's ready anytime, we'll be telling you and showing you as well what is happening. So while Kende is getting set to tell us what is happening right now in Ibadan, we will be also sharing from you. Now, you said you're a mental health practitioner and specifically for the military. I want to know, I am a broadcaster. When I take my annual leave, I still find myself presenting in my dream, from habits. And a lot of things we do, we still continue to do that. For the service men and women who are retired, it's supposed to be a rest period. Do they still have any kind of syndrome or side effects?
As a soldier, that flashback remains with you. It's a memory you just have to look for help, and the helps are there. My dear, there are memories that you can't forget because maybe you entered an IED and you survive and you see your colleague dead, that you couldn't do anything. That moment, that scenario remains with you. Sure. The only thing you can do is that you seek for help. As a veteran, you have retired, you have passed through. Okay, I've lost my 2 legs. That is no memory I will forget. The day and event of where I lose my leg remains with me. Flashbacks are there. But my dear, as a soldier, because from the onset that you took that oath, you know that this kind of thing will come in. All you have to do after retirement is that is why where I work as a veteran, the Defense Health Maintenance says, go and register as a retiree, as a veteran, and get medical treatment. And it is done in a way that, yes, payment of that is done by your insurance. And if your insurance does not cover it, there is a way the military will augment, because insurance can't cover everything. But the augmenting of that aspect that the insurance couldn't cover, the military is doing it. Honestly, flashbacks are there, memories are there, and the dementia of I have retired and government has not done anything to me. That is the individual thinking. Even if government give you the whole world, that day, that moment remains in you. And they cope with it.
It's quite traumatic because I am not a military person. I am not a medical person, but 1 or 2 occasions I've witnessed people, pass on to the other side of life. And for a very long time, it's difficult to eat. And I'm wondering, sometimes when I complain about it, they say you're just being a woman. Meanwhile, women are in the army, women are in the military, and they are fighting alongside their friends, sometimes their relations, and they are gone down. How do I begin to talk to myself at that spot? How do I begin to, do my mental health.
You know, in our part of the world, we don't seek for help even when the headache is over 2 hours. Sometime when the
Typical.
pressure is high on you, seek for help. There are practitioners. Like in the military, we have the clinical psychologists, the psychiatric doctors. But the thing is, I have post-traumatic stress. I need help. I don't want people to know I have this problem.
That's the problem.
Because why should people see me going to the psychologist or the psychiatric or the social worker for counseling? People tag me. I have mental
health.
issues. And the side of this world, that is the stigma that keeps people suffering in their houses. I tell a retired veteran, don't suffer in silence. Seek for help. There are help. Don't just cover your door and say government has not done it. Did you take a step to look for someone that could give you 10 sections and you decide to do only 2 sections? It won't work. Seek for help. My dear, it's not just the military. Anywhere you find yourself and the pressure of work is high on you, seek for help.
True.
Because if you don't accept that you have a problem, which many people
Nobody
do
can
not accept that they have a problem. So if you don't have a problem, how do you solve it?
True. Somebody's writing in from Ondo State. She says, thanks for being there. That's a Dibal. I am Mrs. Ibitoye Olu Yinka from Ondo State. How can one's daughter apply for military school? Wow. Okay, she wants her daughter to be like you. So how can you apply?
It's there now. NDA, the government of this country has done a beautiful thing for women, allowing women to take a step the way the men do for 5 years.
Yeah.
Let her buy the form, write her jam, and if she is there, she will get it. Because in the next 10 years, we may hear a woman being a GOC. What will you do?
10 years?
Yes.
I think very soon.
No, I'm just saying it. Because what the man did for 5 years, this woman came out and did the same.
Yeah.
The rigorous training of the men, she passed through it. And let me tell you one thing. Among these women that decide to compete with the men, they are the best. They never came below 5. In any exams, they are always within the first 5.
You're making me feel very proud of myself.
See,
As a woman.
I'm so proud to see these young ones. I was so glad the day I was told that I'm going to be an instructor in the NDA, being an executive officer. I was like, me, going to train the people that owns the army. I was there for 3 years, and I saw what these girls went through. There is nothing the men will do that they are not there first.
Trust.
So if you feel like throwing away women from the system, you are making a mistake.
Big one.
Because, and do you know they are very clever?
Definitely.
They decided to get married now, get their children, and face the career.
Wow.
So you can see. And this marriage, they are not specifically saying, I want to marry a military person. No.
Anybody.
The good one that comes picks them. And they are producing their children now at the rank of captain before major. So when you are trying to decide that the GOC is for a mate, no, he's a mate.
Yeah.
And she's better than him. Will you throw her
Definitely
and pick
not.
the man?
Definitely not.
So
Alright.
let her daughter buy form.
Please, your daughter will buy that for me. It says military or no military, a man should give his will to his next of kin, one he can trust, someone faithful. Any woman that her husband did not make next of kin is a failed woman. Wow.
dear.
Because
not
her
nice.
husband does not trust her. Because of 1 or 2 irregularities. Military women, wives, most of them are unfaithful.
Oh, dear.
So the men don't trust them. Well, this is coming from John Great,
that's not
Ukoro
nice.
Chidebere.
no.
This is a big accusation.
No, it's not
Okay.
it's not that. You see, it's a sad thing that some people tend to have perceptions because maybe they have a friend or somebody. The most faithful women, when I say faithful, are the military, are the ones that are married to military men. The ones that are not faithful are the men. Sorry to say, let it be said. And why is that so? Is because they tend to go from one environment to another environment. You see, they have to disabuse. Because for this guy to say this, I don't know what he went through and why he has that perception. But they have to make awareness. The military women are the strongest
That's
in
true.
the society.
And the strong discipline and training they go through gives them a lot of self-control, which is something that they even carry to their marriages. And this other person says, he's writing in from Sokoto, my greetings goes to my amenable mommy, the retired Lieutenant Colonel, Barrack Boy Godwin. Not drinking, womanizing cannot separate from our fathers out there. Well, I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but I wish I could understand it better. I think this person says, please advise me as a civilian on how to stay with my wife who is a soldier and she is living in barracks, and I want to build a home out of barracks. My name is Dauda Umayabo. Okay, she said the wife is living in the barracks and he does not want to live in the barracks.
Yes.
So that he needs you to advise him.
Okay. Yes, women that are not married to soldiers are allowed to live with their husband outside the barrack, but you have to write through your commander. The reason is they want you to be comfortable out there. So definitely, if you write, there will be people that will check, is she going to be comfortable?
Comfortable
Is she
and safe.
That is
That's
what they
it.
look at. Not
Safe.
that somebody will stop you from...
Okay, but can the man go to the barracks? to
Yes,
live
of
with
course. He
yeah.
has all the rooms and all the houses
Okay.
as being the wife. But if you want her outside, the military must make sure that she's staying in a safe place and the environment is conducive for her, and for her to wear her uniform upright and come out. Those are things that are being looked at. But
these military people, they always know how to take care of themselves.
No, but the thing here is that some people think that if you grow up your kids grow up in that environment, that there's a problem. You see, that's why sometimes some people, so that's why sometimes people, because the parents, when your kids are in the barrack, you have to follow up your kids. That's just the truth. Because if you don't follow up your kids, I don't think you will like what will come up or what will come out from those kids if you don't follow them up in the barracks. It can happen as well outside.
I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of people who are barrack trained. Number one, who are exceptionally very nice people and well brought up. We still have female veterans here to celebrate, and I want to go back to the questions. There are so many of them, and there's no time to take the morning anchor. All is well with our military. Regards to Colonel Susan from Captain Omoju. I don't know if you know the person.
Yes.
Okay, you know the person. All right. And another person says, Lieutenant Colonel Susan really impressed and educated me a lot today. I enjoy her person and commitment for the Army. I'm sure females will be encouraged and inspired to join the Army. Best regards. All right, thank you very much. I will take on a little bit more before we go. I salute you, Mommy. You are a brave woman with agility, soldier blood in your blood. All right. Is there any law in the military that gives a military woman a rest of her duty when she is pregnant? The person didn't write the name here, but it's a question.
Yeah,
so when you're pregnant?
When you are pregnant,
okay.
In fact, in the Army, it's more than the 3 months you receive as a civil servant. And your husband, too, if he wants to rest with you, the Army gives you that, too. Because the new gender policy addressed that, and it is being put in place. If you're pregnant, even from the first day, if you want to rest. But we women, we want to allow it to the 8th, 7th month, then you now go as a stretch. 6 months, you are not in the system. Actually, when a woman is pregnant in the military, she gets the best out of all the best, because all your colleagues wants to see the safety of that child.
The military baby.
Yes.
I remember when I was, like you would put it, reproducing babies. And a lot of times I try to do something. My mother-in-law will go, no, you're stressing the baby,
Yes.
And I know that if you get off from being very active, to get back to being active is a lot of stress. Is there special training post natal training for women after delivery?
I mean, yes, there is, but
Okay.
I may not mention name. We had a competition crossing the rope. You know what it is from one end if you've done your service. There's a lady, she was 5 months pregnant. She's an officer. She
Don't
said,
tell me she
"Ma,
climbed the
I
rope."
will cross this rope." And she did because she wants her team to win. That's to tell you that in the military, the woman can do the unexpected. She did it. And the baby today is about 1 year, 2 months. She's among the regular, the people who spend 5 years. So I tell the army that if she can do that, how many of them are willing to do worse than that? Maybe we may have a woman.
Okay. Hello, presenter. Help me ask the veteran military, how do they live with their husbands if the husbands are not military in the barracks? I am Zachary. Okay, she's already answered the question earlier. Perhaps I did not. Please, I like the woman that she is speaking there, looking at her. Okay, I don't, please, when you write, don't abbreviate too much so it's easy for me to understand what you're saying. Good morning to our big aunties in the house. I am Usman from Zaria. Please, how can a veteran seek for medical help after retirement? Because some of them don't know how to go about it.
That
will
is
be our
a
last
beautiful
question.
question. In every state, Defense Health Maintenance have an office. So we tell retirees, even if you are in a local government, they have a
An
Legion
office.
office.
Okay.
From the Legion, there is a form. I tell people you must fill the form because that form gives DHML your information.
Okay.
That form tells me you are retired because on that form you will attach your retirement certificate for me to know that you are a veteran. And with that, honestly, I'm not speaking for government here, neither am I speaking for Defense Health Maintenance. As a retiree, registered, the basic primary health care is there. If it gets to secondary, this is insurance, it's a premium. They looked at it that.
All right. Thank you. My director is on my DC. So just go to your local government. You will find a way to help yourself.
State
And
government.
just in one sentence, your word to the female soldiers.
I would just like to say that the impact of womanhood in society, it cannot be overemphasized. And we are so grateful for our female heroes who are out there fighting for our security, fighting to ensure that we are safe in our country. And I just want to say a big thank you on behalf of all the women and young girls.
Okay.
Looking
It's
up
a
to
big
them.
thank you.
Yes.
And Khadijat, a big thank you to them.
I want to say a big thank you to them, and I wish I can be part of them.
Don't worry, we'll try.
For me, I think women should be in the legions. If they're in the legions, they will help the veterans.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't have much again to add. I'll just say thank you. Salute to all the soldiers. I'll see you.